So sometimes I check the Apple store to see what movies are charting and what's doing well and see what people are looking at. And I noticed that Infinite out of nowhere is like in the top five. And I was like, I guess people are watching Infinite. Maybe I should finally watch it. Anyway, I'm Mac from MacTheMovieGuy.com, and this is a review of Infinite. Sorry, I got that mixed up. I didn't get it mixed up. This is Exposition, the movie. I'm a blind film critic, so for those of you looking for me to talk about this film's, I'm certain, just like grade A, amazing spectacle of visual effects. I'm sure they put years of toiling into the visual effects for this film. Just like they did the script, and just like Mark Wahlberg did reading the script and thinking about how to say his lines. Okay, so what is this film about? What is Infinite? Okay, so basically it's reincarnation. It's kind of like The Old Guard, where except for these people, instead of being like perpetually alive, they die and they just keep coming back, and then they get their like memories back when they're around their teenage years, and they keep going to Angkor Wat. It's ridiculous. It's actually based on a book, which is hilarious because I'd love to know if the book is like this or if somebody just misinterpreted the book, because that's happened a lot. I mean, let's be honest. There are a lot of adaptations of books where people who have read the book will be like, that is nothing like the book. I want you to know the movie is nothing like the book. I went through that with everybody after they saw Ready Player One, and then I saw it and I was like, oh my God. Let me talk to you. And I had like these 30-minute conversations with people about why the book is infinitely better than the movie. It's just so who knows? I don't want to crap on the author. The book might be amazing. I'm sure somebody felt like it was, because they were like, "Ooh, let's make that into a movie." I don't know what happened here. I really don't. There's some good cast members here. I don't know what happened with Chiwetel Ejiofor's existence in this film. Oscar nominee. You know what I'm saying? This is the dude who poured his heart out and his soul and bled for 12 years a slave, and now he's in this. And it's just like, where is your career going? Did you get a good payday? I hope he did. I hope he got a $10 million paycheck. And it was just that he was like, whoa, I usually get $2-3 million. 10. Yes, I will do this Mark Wahlberg movie. Just whatever it was that made him sign on to this film. I hope it was worth it. We got a couple other people in here you'll recognize, like Rupert Friend has been in a bunch of things. Jason Mantzoukas has been in a bunch of things. But this is mostly like a Mark Wahlberg movie, and my God, man. Is he even trying anymore? Is he doing the thing now where he realizes his movies don't go to theaters? So he's just doing what a lot of these stars have done when their movies start going straight to video or straight to streaming, like Nicolas Cage and Cuba Gooding Jr. And, I guess just start phoning it in and being like, I'm here. This is a film. You're paying me because you think people will come because I'm here. It's like why they had a category, which in retrospect feels like the worst thing we've done to Bruce Willis ever, about worst performance by Bruce Willis in a Bruce Willis film last year, and then we found out why he hasn't been acting well. It kind of puts a damper on the hilariosity of that category, doesn't it? Also, I'm not really sure this movie's bad enough to necessarily warrant Razzie nominations. Just Mark Wahlberg. I think the movie maybe the screenplay. I don't know. There are interesting things happening here, and also Chiwetel Ejiofor is great because he's great in everything. His role is shitty. It really is. He just is this stereotypical shitty villain, with this bizarre plot to wipe out all of mankind with an egg. Um, when that scene happened, and there's like a little bird like on a computer screen that drops the egg off, I was like, what is happening in this film? But he's great, because he's always great. I don't think I've ever been like, man, that was a bad performance of his. No, he's great in this. Yeah, it was actually a good performance. I enjoyed every scene he was in, every moment he was in. I sometimes I just realize that he's making bad dialogue sound good. Like, very, it takes a great actor to do that. When you're handed crappy dialogue and a crappy character, and somehow you make it seem like it's Shakespeare. Like, that's all because of him. So I hate the fact that he's in this, because it feels like he's getting roped in. But he should be separated from everybody else and just be like, but not him. I don't know what happened with Wahlberg's performance here. It feels like he was handed the script 48 hours before he shot the film, and Antoine Fuqua just gave up and took the first take of everything, every line reading he does in this film. It kind of almost works because his character is supposed to be kind of stupid and clueless. So the fact that every line is read like Mark Wahlberg literally doesn't know what his line is, and he's just saying things. He's like, what is that? I don't know. What are you trying to say? What's going on? Like, that's like Mark Wahlberg's entire performance is being like clueless for the majority of the film, until finally it kicks in. There's so much exposition in this film. This film's plot is so convoluted. It spends easily half the film just explaining the film to you. The other half of the film is trying to get the plot out, but about half the film, I think, is straight up exposition, explaining how, why, where we are, how we stop, how we get to where we need to be. Whatever it is, it's somebody explaining something, and like 95% of the time they're explaining it to Mark Wahlberg. So it's and so all of his reactions are always like, what? What do you mean? I don't, that, what? Like, he's just like, and that's his whole performance is like confused. And then I love that we've brought swordplay into this movie, because like they can bring it in because, like, you live like infinite lives, so you become like a sword master, because as you like get your memories back, you remember that like for hundreds of years you've been using swords. So you would be a badass with a sword because you have like hundreds of years of experience with swords. So I love that like this is modern and we have sword fights. I actually kind of thought that was cool and stupid at the same time, like simultaneously. There's a fight sequence towards the end between Mark and Chiwetel that is terrible. I mean, it's one of those ridiculous, sort of like the scene in F9 where we sent a car into space. We sent Ludacris and Tyrese into space, and it's like, in like one hand it sounds cool like on paper, and you're like, oh my god, that's cool, and then like in actuality it's like the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. So yeah, I couldn't get past that. Anyway, it's just, the film isn't like 100% terrible. I've definitely seen worse films. Points for like this being sort of, I know it's not original because it's based on a book, but it feels kind of like there's some new things happening here, some ideas. It doesn't feel like I'm just like seen this 1,000 times before. I mean, the closest thing that I was able to pull up on in my memory was like The Old Guard. I'm sure there are other films. I'm thinking about like little tidbits, like The Sixth Day, where they were like regrowing the bodies. It's not quite the same thing. So there's some interesting things that happen here, but most of it gets lost. I don't know what happened with Antoine Fuqua. This is the dude who gave us Training Day and King Kong Ain't Got Nothing on Me and Denzel Washington is Oscar, and here he is, and he can't even direct Mark Wahlberg through dialogue. So I don't know what to do about that. I don't know where he's at with his career. Maybe he needs money. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. The audio description for this film is quite fantastic. There, I actually liked how sometimes they changed to remind you of like who was good and who was bad, with regards to the characters. They sort of reminded you of where their positions stood, by using different words to describe the character. I don't want to get too much into that, but when you get into it, you'll see what I'm saying. They don't always just use the character name. Sometimes they use a way of describing the character that lets you know sort of where in the plot they are, which I thought was interesting. There's a lot of fight sequences here to describe, a lot of things happening quickly that are described really well. There's a car chase / car accident that I thought was well described. So I didn't have a problem with the audio description. I always say this. I'm waiting for the day when I hate the movie and it also has shitty audio description. I'm waiting for that moment. I want that to happen because I feel like the worst movies have some of the best audio description. And it's very odd that that's a thing. But this actually has really great audio description. So, yeah, it's made easier. It's a somewhat difficult movie to describe in terms of the characters and the plot and the convolutedness of it, which is why there's so much exposition to begin with. It makes itself sort of easier because everybody in this film, except Mark Wahlberg, basically, and there's one character named Nora, but like there's so many people in this film with like ridiculous names. So it makes it easier to remember who they are because their name is so silly and out of place that like nobody has that name. So it's not getting mixed up. You're not trying to follow like a Mark and a Michael and a Matt, and try to track people with somewhat similar names. Everybody's name is just incredibly unique. So that sort of helped. So good job on audio description. Film, not so much. Mark Wahlberg, definitely not so much. This is the worst. I don't dislike Mark Wahlberg. I don't. But this is his worst performance, I want to say ever. I'll reserve that though. This is close. If it's not his worst performance ever, it's definitely bottom 3. It's his worst performance in quite some time because I can't think of what I would put up there next to this, in terms of what else I think is just, I thought he was better in Transformers. To give you an idea, I thought he acted Transformers better. And that's not a great movie either. So this is what you got. You got Infinite. It's on Paramount Plus. I think it's a Paramount Plus original. I don't think it went to theaters. Maybe it went to theaters. I don't think it did. I think it just went straight to Paramount Plus. Now apparently it's on iTunes for people who don't have Paramount Plus. Maybe that's why it skyrocketed to the top. People who don't subscribe, they can now get it on iTunes. I don't know why you would, unless you're just like a massive Mark Wahlberg fan and you feel some sort of need to watch everything he's ever been in. I would say this is one you could probably skip, but that's up to you. Time to grade the film. I'm gonna give Infinite, a D+. And definitely at least one of those grade level ups from F is just solely for Chiwetel Ejiofor. Just at least one full, bump up was just for his performance and his existence in the film alone. That's it. Yeah, Infinite. I don't know that maybe I would nominate for Razzies. I don't know. I don't know. I have to relook at like everything that came out in 2021 to determine whether or not it actually deserved the Razzie nominations. It doesn't really matter because Diana like won them all, and Diana the musical was just, it absolutely deserved to win everything it won. So that's that. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, like and subscribe. I need more subscribers, guys. I need them. I don't really need them, but I want people to know I exist, in case they want to talk about audio description, which is what we're doing. We need to talk about audio description more. Oh my God, the film right after this, because it was on Paramount Plus. So now I have to go track down the narrator and see if I can find out the narrator, because Paramount Plus forces you into the next movie. The next movie it forced me into, I don't even know what it was. I didn't stay long enough. My God, it had the most. I've thought I've heard robo description before. I have not heard robo description until I've heard this robotic. I mean, it really sounded like a robot. It sounded like the robot from Short Circuit was narrating the film. Like, it was so. It's like, what robot is this? What program is narrating this film? I didn't even want to know what it was. I'm glad. I just backed out of it immediately. I don't think it's in my queue. I was only in it for like 5 seconds, but man, it started to list the title sequence, with the credits of the Paramount logo or Universal or whatever the studio was that was coming in, and the voice was just so obviously robotic, that it was. I thought we've heard the worst robotic description, and I apparently we have not. When I hit that, I will be in store for something with robo description. So, yeah, we have to keep having conversations about audio description. So that's why I want subscribers, so that I can keep talking to people and keep talking to streaming services and trying to get them to put audio description on movies, especially ones that already have existing audio description. It's very frustrating. Anyway, MacTheMovieGuy.com for more reviews and audio description project to find out what's got audio description, where it is, how you can watch it, plan your life around audio description projects. So until next time, since apparently we live infinite lives through reincarnation thanks to Mark Wahlberg's film, I will continue to just do audio description perpetually. Yeah, hopefully directed by somebody other than Antoine Fuqua, though.